school administration was warned by concerned teachers and employees that the boy had a gun on him at the school and was threatening people.
The school board votes to fire the superintendent. Warner continues to recover, but a bullet remains lodged in her chest.
Russia launches a new wave of missile and drone attacks across Ukraine this morning on civilian targets. It comes as the U.S. agrees to send tanks to the Ukrainian military.
It's 31 M1 Abrams battle tanks, the equivalent of one Ukrainian battalion. President Biden made the announcement, reversing months of persistent arguments that the tanks were too difficult for Ukrainian troops to operate and maintain.
Reporter Ed Donahue says it could take more than a year for the tanks to reach the battlefield. Germany also agrees to send more than a dozen of its Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine.
Former Presidents Obama, Clinton, and Bush are not in possession of any classified materials.
That's according to representatives for each party. Told CNN they returned any such documents when they left office. They said no searches of homes and offices are being conducted.
Mayfield reports special counsels continue to look over classified documents found at the home and office of President Biden and at former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort.
Former President Trump is set to be reinstated to Facebook and Instagram.
Meta, the owner of both social media sites, announced Wednesday that Trump's accounts will be made active again in the coming weeks. The company promised to put safeguards in place to prevent repeat offenses.
Ryan Shook reports the former president was kicked off both platforms of his Twitter account was restored late last year.
The company behind the Valley Sports South cable
Lane Johnson with DeKalb Animal Services is not kidding. She says the DeKalb Animal Shelter is bursting at the seams, and they simply have run out of room, and they really don't want to have to euthanize.
Adoptions, fosters, rescue pools, any placement options that are found in the shelter are going to be positive placements with those animals. And just fostering, that helps so much. You would not understand how much that saves an animal's life.
The deadline is at the end of the month. Jennifer Griffiths, 95.5 WSB.
This year's Puppy Bowl will reach a much wider audience on Super Bowl Sunday. In addition to airing on Animal Planet, it'll also be on the Discovery Channel, Discovery Plus, TBS, and HBO Max.
Good morning, gang. This is an In Cab video requested by Carson.
30 puppies begins at 2 p.m. on February 12th. It's 5:56.
Today's time update weather and traffic. Today's forecast.
We got an apartment complex nestled in this neighborhood in Vine City. If you guys haven't subscribed to Daily Dumps and also Fun with Trash Trucks, both of those guys have got some really good 360 views of the hopper and showing how they dump the cans as well. So definitely check those two guys out. I'm liking what I see on both their channels. Also, Hopper Hustle. And then Rolling with Dre, I think he still posts as well, but he's doing something different now with tractor trailers. So for those that are interested in tractors, definitely follow him. Check his content out. This is our complex right here. Let's see where this car is coming. Yes, there's a sit. Small, narrow street. I try to get over here as early as possible, but not too early. Because where we have to dump the cans, they sit right below right below residence windows, and then we're only feet away from houses over here too. But this isn't a stop you can get late, because they're doing all kind of construction over here as well. Downtown, most people like to park on the streets, so when the truck comes through, it becomes a one-way. Nothing comes or goes. make it easier, I roll out the second one, then dump it, roll it back, and then roll out the first one here. We inherited this stop from GFL. You don't line up just right, these things can be a pain in the butt. They don't have actual sleeves on the cans. She wants to be stubborn today. Okay. Sometimes you have to raise up out of your seat, get a better view. Residents will work with me on this. I don't slam the cans, just turn them over and bump them a little bit. Every now and then they'll have them stuffed so hard, so tight, that you have to bump them quite a few times before that stuff will loosen up and then it'll fall out. Carson will run our auto pack while we go and put this container back. This used to be my mother-in-law's church some years back. They finally opened the road up. I think they have been doing some sewer line work over here.
Across Metro Atlanta.
All right, guys,
for people that are already homeowners.
Get Darren Village
and why these
5 8-yarders in here
on what's going to happen to the value of your home if you're already a homeowner. And I want to tell you, rest easy. Those predictions are not accurate. There is nothing on the horizon in Metro Atlanta that's going to lead to a collapse in people's home prices. That would be great for people who want to buy a home if that was happening. But it's not. What's going to happen here is our housing market's going to be stronger than the rest of the United States. And we will have softness in prices over the next couple of years, maybe. But no collapse at all.
And thanks to Ted Wyatt at our sister station WGAU in Athens for sending this over from Wednesday State University Press from UGA President Jerry Moorhead. Well, what Tim believes are the first public comments that President Moorhead or anyone else at the university's made since the crash that killed Devon Willock and Chandler LaCroix.
Even with our greatest athletic achievement in history came the heartbreaking reminder of how delicate life is, how quickly those we cherish will be taken from us. Our entire university continues to breathe along
in that container. I'll put this one on top of it, then run the auto pack.
Small independent stores across the South that have always been jewelers by trade, not salespeople. But you realize
should be back. But in here, I tried to stop it because with these house, Once they blade goes up under the top door, your body walls actually are curved. So in this complex is Rat City. So to keep the rats from running between those spaces, only allow the blade to go back so deep into the body.
This is Joe Cordell of the law firm Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality,
they've cleaned up a lot in here, finally.
We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years. Contact Cordell Cordell.
But the rats still remain. This is the heaviest. I guess more residents live around this can.
In production as we speak. President operates a company says they plan to open 4 dispensaries this year, including 2 in Metro Atlanta. Changing in Georgia.
Let's go ahead and hit our auto pack.
53% of voters in the state approved legalizing pot for medical and recreational use. 124-hour news center. No Kayachi at 95.5 WSB.
Good morning. I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. The sun comes up in about 1 hour, but we're not going to see those temperatures come up much today. I'll tell you how cool it will be for this afternoon and how long the dry weather will stick around. It's coming up at 6:35.
Just wanted to motivate you, ladies and gentlemen, too. Don't be afraid to follow your dreams. No, I'm a living testimony to that. Whatever God puts upon your heart to do, have the courage to jump out on faith and make it, see it through. You know, you don't want to go through life having regrets later. I shoulda, coulda, woulda. You know, that always sucks. A lot of wasted potentials in the graveyards. Come on, buddy. But yeah. Running the business isn't as hard as people think. The hardest thing is having the discipline to see things through day to day and having the faith, you know, when you don't know where money's coming from or you're constantly having issues like with this. There have been plenty of days, you know, when the truck was at Nextran, when I lost the Peterbilt. I didn't know what to do other than pray and just keep my faith. Made it through, you know. That lid is probably going to hit the wire. So you guys can see it. There's a wire going right there between the arm and the cab seal. And I can clear it, but the lids have to be closed. Take our time here.
Because there's no place to put them.
They're generally older children with multiple comorbidities, physical health.
All right, one more in here, and then we'll go to our last stop. Last 2 stops. They sit on the same property. I pray that everyone's having a good year so far. Can you believe it's almost February?
economy rolled out 2022.
Before you know it, we'll be looking at 2024.
Decent growth in the face of painful inflation.
Bloomberg reports many still predict the economy will slow this year and slip into recession.
I think I started my channel back in 06, 07. For those that have been with me from the beginning, man, thank you, for riding along. This has been an incredible journey. I want to say out of all the original drivers that were filming before me, man, I think I'm the last of them. We had Wyoming Timberwolf. That was a real cool guy named Ken. He used to work for John. He did side load, drove a crane carrier with a, I think it was a Howe Formula 7000.
36 degrees in Dunwoody.
Then later he inherited a truck from Tallahassee that they had bought and reconditioned.
Tomorrow morning we wake up in the upper 20s, low 30s. Tomorrow afternoon
he was one of the originals. Zachary, Alien Stranger.
On Sunday afternoon as rain showers return. A meteorologist, Christina Edwards, 95.5.
Zach reinvented his channel, but I don't think he's posted anything new. He went from driving to actually doing a lot of photography and commercials for Bridgeport and a few others, which was really cool. You know, if you guys remember Kimchi Man up in Canada, I forget what company he worked for, but he was one of the main ones that inspired me to actually pick up my phone and start recording what I was doing out here. Him, David Landsman, Jeep Kid, Hyro down in Florida, Jeep Man. These guys had all kinds of incredible angles, especially Jeep Man. I want to say he was one of the first to actually do hopper videos. Then he would put his camera on the tailgate so you can see when he would eject the load. He had his camera mounted to his forks. All kind of cool angles that were ahead of their time. Nice if they actually redid this community for these residents. At one point it looked like they were, but then she found QC Kinetics. Like it all stopped. Natural biologics designed to repair and restore tissue in her knees. 3 months later she was climbing the highest mountain. Sometimes it's hard to believe that people live in here like this with all these rats and busted out windows and stuff. Part of my devotional this morning, the Bible plans, it stated the poor would always be amongst us, but it's up to those of us who are more fortunate to be able to give back to them and help as much as we can. Go ahead and clear our hopper on the way to our next stop, and we shall return in a bit.
After the recusal of the DeKalb DA, a special prosecutor will handle charges in the fatal Cop City shooting. Former Gwinnett DA Danny Porter serves as executive director of the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia.
Last year, the legislature turned over the conflict duties to the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia.
GBI is still in charge of the investigation. Protesters requested the official account of the shooting and pressed for an independent probe.
The school board in Newport News, Virginia fires the school superintendent after a 6-year-old shoots his teacher in class. The lawyer for the wounded teacher, Abby Werner, says administrators had been warned the child had a gun.
This should have never happened. It was preventable. And thank God Abby is alive.
She plans to sue. The board says there's a loss of faith in Dr. George Parker.
UGA offensive lineman Warren McClendon, who survived a terrible crash in Athens, dedicates his next start to his late teammate.
He
cleared for the NFL draft less than 12 hours before the crash which killed his Georgia Bulldogs teammate. Now, offensive lineman Warren McClendon will honor the late Devin Willock as he accepts an invitation to showcase his skills at February 4th's Senior Bowl. The bowl assigns McClendon jersey number 77, Willock's number.
Sometimes they'll forget to take this bar off.
Is cutting 1.5% of its global workforce. Almost 4,000 people are getting let go. IBM says its cuts are related to the previously announced spin-off and sale of 2 business units.
Reporter Stacy Lynn says employee severance will cost IBM $300 million this quarter.
A new Whataburger opens today in Woodstock. Now it's drive-through only. Police already warned that there may be traffic backups on Highway 92.
Good morning, Scott. 36 degrees right now in Nelson, 36 in Ball Ground, 37 in Canton, and good morning, Woodstock, starting off at 37. Later on today, a mix of sun and clouds, breezy with a high of 47, and it'll feel like the 30s throughout the course of the day, courtesy of that wind. Lows tonight in the upper 20s, tomorrow mostly sunny, high 48, and Saturday is another dry day, mostly sunny, morning low 32, afternoon high 54. Our next chance of rain arrives in Metro Atlanta on Sunday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Christina Edwards, 955 WSB.
And 5 minutes after 7, the WSB Cool Ray Carrier Sky Cap. Here's where I'm going.
Before you get to it, remember where the old coal plaza was? Conducting some kind of investigation on the roadway. That's the reason why it's being quiet and trying to hit. Building southbound out of Alpharetta on 400. Your 575, I-75 delays are minimal northwest. Thank goodness what a difference a morning makes between Cartersville Sports and Kennesaw. Travel advisory in Dunwoody, actually, Nebraska.
That is because the brake lights begin on 285 westbound leaving.
She got in a bad fight with these 2 gates. We had a bad storm probably about a month or so ago, right around the new year, and I went to open this enclosure like normal. It was very windy that day, so this gate swung. And I mean, it came hit me square in the back of my head, and the impact sent me straight into the container head first. I tell you, that did not feel good. But I keep Advil and you know, stuff like that on me, first aid kits. You have to out here, because you never know when something will happen. But to add insult to injury, the second gate swung and hit me in the back. I was like, good Lord, what's going on? So of course I had a nice little hickey on my head. Just goes to show anything can happen out here. And that's why it's good for front end drivers to keep bungees. I keep 3 long bungees and cones for that very reason, but didn't think of it that morning for whatever reason, and ended up with a nice little love tap.
So Natalie Stutzman leads the orchestra in Shostakovich's 5th Symphony and Prokofiev's Sinfonia Concerto. featuring cellist Edgar Moreau, February 2nd and 3rd. Details at ASO.org.
I actually thought somebody had ran up behind me and hit me in the head.
As your pest control company told you they won't be coming inside anymore, they raise their prices. Inside of your home, keep your pest control companies doing less and charging more. You need freedom. They'll treat the inside and outside of your home. Get started at DREDAPest.com.
Back in and check our top and go to the transfer station. That's a wrap. She's good. Get a lot of exercise on this route. Most of it is rollouts, compactors. Keeps the old man in shape.
And available manual transmission, a VTEC turbo engine. Its most important feature, the next-gen accurate tech. Your turn.
Hey, it's Belinda. Do you have plumbing work that needs to be done? Upgrading a fixture, getting something repaired? Homework is my go-to. Serving Atlanta's needs for over 30 years.
Run our blade back one last time. Then when we come back, we'll be at Welcome All Transfer Station.
It's about caring for the whole health of the person and the community. At CareSource, we go beyond traditional definitions of health and wellness to ensure that our members have the resources and support they need to overcome obstacles and pursue meaningful opportunities.
R85 is really thick now between Pleasant Hill Road and Indian Trail inside the perimeter. Brake lights hit you again at Brookhaven at North Bruins Road exit 89. And your usual flowing between Tequila and Lawrenceville on 316 westbound. Working toward the slow zone and towards this 400 south leaving Alpharetta at Hainesbridge Road on the brakes past Abernathy. What's the worst Hanson from the garage?
Where it usually is at,
made it to Welcome All.
southbound, you leave Holly Springs before 6th Road. It is thick
really
and snow
call
all the
into
way down to
scale.
below 92. And over on 75 southbound, you got a crash just past the North 120 loop. That is exit 265 is off to the left, but still it adds to that slow ride through Marietta. This report brought to you by the YMCA of Metro Atlanta. At the YMCA, they'll help you build a strong spirit, mind, and body.
Happy Hollis Waste 02. Alright, thank you. That's a young lady driving for CEI. Okay. That's what's up. I didn't know they had any ladies over there. get to a transfer station, you have to always watch these loader operators. A lot of times they'll move, not really paying attention to you, you know, because you're in their house. So their attitude is watch them. She wants to act up. Try to keep a long stick so I don't have to walk up under the tailgate when I clean off the rear here. Got a magnet. freight ticket. That will do it for today.